A word for you from 1 Timothy chapter 4, verses 1 and 2. Now the Spirit expressly says that in latter times some will depart from the faith, giving heed to deceiving spirits and doctrines of demons, speaking lies in hypocrisy, having their own conscience seared with a hot iron. Well, when Paul was writing to Timothy then, he hadn't predicted in his own mind how long it would take and what the Spirit expressly meant when he spoke of latter times. But one thing is sure, we are closer to the latter times than Paul was. We are closer to the coming of the Lord Jesus for the second time than he was. And perhaps we need to take heed and take note of what the Spirit expressly says will happen, that there will be some who will depart from the faith. What plain language. They just leave the faith. That means they were in it. What their true condition of conversion was, we don't know, but they just turned from it, and it'll be a shock to those who are following the Lord. But he's preparing us. He's saying, look, the Spirit says it'll happen. And why do they depart from the faith? It says they give heed to deceiving spirits and doctrines of demons. It would appear from this that they depart for a religious reason, for a spiritual reason, not necessarily just sin. There are those who become lukewarm and whose love is cooled off just because of plain, ugly sin. But then there are those who lose sight of the track and they go off on a tangent because they give heed to deceiving spirits and doctrines of demons. Things whispered in their ears and hearts, maybe things that they find stand out in the Bible even, or in their dream, or in their vision, or somebody has told them. But they don't know that behind that lies a deceiving, wicked spirit, a demonic influence of that doctrine. As spiritual as it might sound, it stinks with the presence of evil. And Paul goes on to describe that person begins to speak lies in hypocrisy. They're no longer true and genuine. They become hypocrites. And they end up with their conscience being seared with a hot iron because they have to resist the Spirit of God. They've got to fight against God, and so they quench His Spirit and they dull their own conscience until it is seared. It is burnt and feelingless as with a hot iron.